Hey everybody, it's Brad. Earlier I put up a video on taking an existing applique design, like a commercially produced applique design, and sending that to the Cameo cutter. I want to show you something else that's really cool that everybody that owns Embroidery Works is able to do, and that is to use the applique shapes that are available from Accuquilt. All of those can be used with this same technique, and Embroidery Works has most of those shapes built into it. And if yours does not have it built into it, it's a free download from designersgallerysoftware.com. I actually have another video, so look through my Embroidery Works playlist. If you don't know what I'm talking about here and you own Embroidery Works, go look for the one that shows how to install the Accuquilt shapes. I'll wait. And then once you have them, you'll be able to do this. So if we go up to our design library up here, merge design, it looks like a little gear with an arrow. We can left click on that, and we have these different options under catalog. We have the different Accuquilt shapes, Accuquilt appliques, geometric holidays, all these different shapes. So anything that you see in this list, each one of these represents one of the dies. So if I wanted to do any of these, say I want to do this cat, I can click on the cat. Here's my cat. I can left click on the design and hit OK, and it will import this in. And this is an applique. So what this is designed for is so that I would have to have the Accuquilt die in order to do this. I'd have to take the cat die and roll some fabric through it to get this shape cut out automatically, and then I could use the embroidery design that this just brought up to tack it down and sew out the applique. But now, if I have a Cameo cutter, I don't need to have the Accuquilt die, the specific one, because I can actually send the cut line from this directly to my Cameo cutter. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to go over to the applique tab here, and in the applique tab we're going to go down to where it says color style. We're going to change this from keep color to PES card traditional, and now we can also, we should turn off pre-cut here, because what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to resize this design if we want to. So if we want this to be larger or smaller, if it's on pre-cut, then it'll only allow it to be the size that that die is going to make it. So even though we are going to actually pre-cut it, we're going to turn this off, and that's going to allow me to make my cat larger or smaller than the die would allow me to make it. Okay, now I can change over here in the properties. I can change the stitch length if I want to. You can either type in the number, or you can hit this button and slide up and down. And see, that's going to make the blanket stitch closer or farther apart. And I can adjust the width also, so I can adjust the width of the bite here. Now I also am able to go under border and change this from an E-stitch to a straight blanket, or even to a satin, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave mine as a satin. I like to set my satin stitch width to 4, nice and thick when I'm doing an applique. So now we've got our properties set up. We're going to go back to the color tab, and now notice we have 3 separate spots, 3 separate colors, when before we only had the 1. So now what we can do is left click on applique position, go up to applique. We're going to set our inflate to 1.5. Okay, and we're going to hit save as cut. We're going to save this as cat is fine. We're going to make sure that we're saving it as a .studio file. Hit save. Okay, then I'm going to go to my Silhouette Cameo program, the Silhouette Studio. I'm going to go to File and Merge. I'm going to change my file type from Studio 3 to a regular .studio file. There's my cat design. We choose OK, and there's my cut line. I can take this and send it straight to the Cameo cutter, go under my cut settings, tell it what type of fabric I'm using, set my blade, etc. Hit send to Silhouette, and it's going to cut my cat out of my fabric. I can save the design in Embroidery Works over here. I can now take this design, File, Save As. I'm just going to save the stitch file as something, so cat design, whatever you want to call it, as the PES file. You save that, and then we can take this, put it on our embroidery machine, and sew it out like I showed you in the previous video. And you can do that with every single one of those shapes, and there are a ton of them. Okay, so I can go in and pick every single one, any one of these shapes, and do it. You can even do ones that are layered. You just have to do them one at a time. So if I wanted to do one that was layered, say I want to do this flower here, I would have to bring in each shape. Let me get rid of my cat. So it's a little more time consuming if you're going to do one that's multiple layers, but it still works the same way essentially. Okay, so here's the flower one, right? I can pick the stem, bring that in. Okay, so here's my stem, and then I can go and arrange the next piece of the flower. Here's the head of the flower. I can bring that in. Oops, I'm gonna select it and drag it up. Okay, so now the head of the flower, and then I can go and bring in my next piece. I'll do this star here and put this right here in my flower. Okay, and then go and grab another piece of it, say the leaf. We'll go ahead and put this leaf in here. This is actually going to be bigger than my 5x7 hoop, so I'll go ahead and change the hoop real quick to the 8x8. Where are you? 200 by 200. Okay, so there we go. Alright, and then we've got like a little round piece I can put in the center here. Oh, come on, there we go. Click and drag that into the center of the star, and then we'll go and get the small circle, and we'll click and drag this into the center of the other circle. So now if you're having trouble visualizing what all this looks like, we can actually go in our properties and see, I can select the whole thing and go under the applique tab here and left click on fabric preview. So that kind of shows you the design with fabric in there. But so we go to each individual piece, and we're going to export the cut line from each piece. I'm going to have to select the whole thing and make sure that it's on PES card traditional, which it is. I can turn off the pre-cut if I want now, so I can make it any size I like. But we're going to take each piece. So we'll take the stem. Okay, we've got two pieces, two colors here. We're going to choose the applique position, go to applique, save this one as a cut. It's going to be the stem, save it, and then I can go into my Silhouette Studio program here. Let's delete this cat. Oops. Right click and delete. We'll go to File and Merge, change this to .studio, and choose the stem. And there's my stem cut line. And I do the same thing for each piece of the design. And once I have each piece cut out, I just take the whole design and save it. And I would sew it out each piece at a time. So it's going to first do the stem, and then it's going to do this part of the flower, and then the star, and the leaf, and the large circle, and the small circle, all one at a time, and I'll have been able to cut out each one of my pieces using the Cameo cutter. So if you don't think that that's cool, then I don't think I can help you, because that is really, really incredibly cool. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.